Welcome to video 7 of this video learning series. Now, in previous videos, we've looked at steps 1 and 2 of the project, and we've talked about the types of things you should be thinking of including in these steps of your project report. So now let's move on. Let's move into step 3, developing your solution. At the end of this video, you're going to be able to find the solution section of your project report template. You'll be able to list the different benefits of step 3. Why is this step important? And what skills are you learning when you take this step? You'll be able to describe the different types of information and activities that you can include in this step of your project. You'll be able to list different types of solutions that you might use within your project. And you'll be able to list some examples of artifacts that you might include in the solution section of your project report. Now, on screen now, you can see the editable page of your Canva report template. And this is the section where you'll be filling information telling the reader about the solution. But again, you might be wondering, what are the benefits of what you're doing and what you're practicing in this step? Why is this important? Well, the solution section is where you show what you created to solve the problem. It's one of the most important steps of your project report because this is where you get to explain all the results of your hard work. It's where you get to show how you solve the problem. Anyone reading your report should be able to understand what your solution is, how your solution works, and why this solution helps the target audience. In the solution section, you're proving that you understand the problem and you have responded with a clear and a thoughtful idea. Now, the solution section is also a great place for you to demonstrate your skills. It's going to highlight your creativity, your critical thinking, your design skills, and maybe even your technical skills. This is your chance to show off what you can do. It makes your thinking visible. It explains your ideas. The company, your teacher, they might not have seen every step of your process. So you're going to use this section to explain to the reader, how did you arrive at your final idea? And in this way, your reader can see the ideas that you have and they can follow your logic. This section, the solution section, also connects your work back to the problem. A strong solution section shows exactly what your ideas support, how your idea supports the company, and it helps the people affected by the problem. So this is where you're showcasing, I've identified the problem, I know who the target audience or the user are, I know the issues that they face and the problems that they have, and here's my solution that connects back to these earlier steps. It's where you prove that your solution has a purpose. And finally, but so importantly, in developing this section, you are preparing yourself for real-world projects. Professionals always document their solutions. Maybe it's an engineer or a designer or an IT specialist or a business analyst or a project manager. They all do this. Learning to describe your solution now helps you to build real workplace skills. So as you're going through step 3 of the project, you should be thinking about including information that tells the reader, well, what did you do to solve the problem? What is your solution or your artifact? How does your solution or your artifact solve the problem? And how can your target audience use this solution or this artifact? As you're working your way through the project, you need to create a solution that's going to solve the problem that you identified. So let's think of examples. Maybe it's a technical solution. Maybe it's something like a chatbot, or a website, or an interface, or an app. Or maybe it's a communication tool. So maybe it's a campaign, or it's a video. Maybe it's some marketing materials. Now, these are just some examples of the different types of solutions that you might develop. And you can discuss all of the ideas that you have, maybe with your teachers, maybe with your workplace supervisor. When you're completing this section of your project, you might want to include artifacts. So maybe you'll want to include some sketches of your solution. Maybe you'll want to include some photos of the solution that you've developed. Remember, the project report template is yours to edit and customize how you like. Now, that brings us to the end of this video. So at the end of the video, you can find the solution section of your project report template. You know what the benefits are of working through this step. You're able to describe different types of information and activities that should be included in this step of your project report. You're able to list different types of solutions that you might use within your project. And you can list some examples of artifacts that maybe you want to include in the solution section of your project report. In the next video, we'll be moving on to step 4. Thanks for watching.